Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And today's show is about the top 10 teams and coaches against the spread as an underdog in college football over the last 3 seasons. If you like the show, make sure and give this video a thumbs up, share the video, and make sure to subscribe to our channel so you can get our future content going forward. Let's go ahead and jump into the top 10 here. We're going to give you all kinds of different information, but this is to let you know what has happened in the past, who to look forward to in the future, and let's go ahead and get it rolling. Number 10 on this list, Frank Solich at Ohio, 6-3 as an underdog against the spread over the last 3 seasons, 66.7%. They have not been an underdog often, but when they are typically money. Now, they are 3-6 straight up, but they handle that number pretty well. 2-1 in 2017, 2-1 against the spread in 2018, 2-1 in 2019. I mean, that is dead on every single year, 66%. We love Frank Solich.
Yep. Nope. We're a MAC podcast. We like them a lot, and he's a really good coach, and he knows how to handle that situation.
Oh, he most certainly does. I mean, he's been around forever.
Yep.
He knows how to coach his kids up. Number 9, Justin Wilcox from Cal, 15-7 against the spread over the last 3 seasons as an underdog, 68.2%. Now that's 9-13 straight up, which is pretty ridiculous. 9 straight up wins in 22 options. I mean,
I was just about to say, for Cal, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, big time, big time. 7-3 against the number in 2017, 4-2 in 2018, and 4-2 in 2019. They are always undervalued. Always.
Yeah, it seems to be the most undervalued teams are your defensive teams. Wilcox is a great, fantastic defensive head coach, and
if you can keep the other team from scoring,
that's right.
They're not going to be able to get to that number.
You don't win a lot of games all the time, but you can definitely cover some spreads.
You got that right. Number 8 is Matt Campbell from Iowa State, 13-6 against the spread. Only 6-13 straight up, though. 7-2 as an underdog in 2017. That was the year that he really came out. 4-3 the next year, 2-1 in 2019. So every year they're profitable. But
they've become an underdog less and less.
I mean, the fact that they
were 9 times an underdog in 2017, 3 times
only 3 last year. Yeah,
that tells you the line is cheating their way. Vegas is beginning to respect Matt Campbell.
Most certainly. Speaking of respect, Tom Herman and the Texas Longhorns, 11-5-1 as an underdog against the number over the last 3 seasons. That's 68.8%. Look, 6 times a winner in 17 games as an underdog. That's not bad straight up. 5-1 as an underdog in 2017, 3-1-1 in 2018, and now this past year it kind of trended down a little bit. 3-3, not bad, but not profitable either. So, we'll see. We'll see. He has been known at Houston, everywhere else, as the underdog coach. He can get them up for the big games, but then he plays down to the level of competition in the other games, right?
That was before last year.
Right.
And it was trending more that way. The fact that they have been an underdog at Texas this many times is a little damning to me, because Texas shouldn't be an underdog 16, 17 times in 3 years.
Yeah. Last year, 6 times.
They should not be an underdog to 6 different teams.
No, you got that right. Number 6, Doc Holliday, a guy that does not get enough talk. He is Marshall's head coach. 10-4 against the spread as an underdog in the last 3 seasons. That's over 70%. 71.4%.
It's a hell of a number.
Oh, absolutely. 6-8 straight up. Look, if you're an underdog, it's going to be tough to have a winning record as an underdog.
That's right.
I mean, there's a reason that you
doesn't
are not
happen in
to
college football a lot.
You have got that right. And with that said, 6-0 against the spread in 2017, 2-2 last year, 2-2 in 2019. That's not great. Obviously, 6-0 in 2017, pretty good. But Marshall, well coached every year. 2017, they were incredibly undervalued.
That's it.
You're not going to be able to get that number again, right?
Yep.
It's just a little more difficult.
Some of these, you're seeing the books catch up to some of these up-and-coming coaches. Matt Campbell had that issue. Doc Holliday is one of them that's got that issue. We will see how they're going to look going forward.
Here's another one that's exactly like that. Chris Creighton, number 5 at Eastern Michigan. 15-6 against the spread over the last 3 seasons as an underdog. That is 71.4%, just like Doc Holliday. 7-14 straight up. Won 7 times out of 21 straight up as an underdog. 6-1 against the spread in 2017, 5-2 in 2018, 4-3 last year. They had to deal with some injuries. Were not quite as experienced last season. They're going to have an experience issue again this year. But if anybody is going to be able to coach up, and they're going to get the benefit of having a number that really undervalues them, it's going to be Eastern Michigan.
You think?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
I think
All
so.
right.
They don't have a lot of returning production. People are going to undervalue them. Nobody seems to respect this guy's coaching.
But they've been consistently a dog 7 games last 3 years.
Last 3 years. And they will continue to be in the MAC because
That's right.
they just don't have the resources
Yeah,
there.
they're not one of the premier MAC teams.
I believe it's Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Yeah,
is where they are.
It's a small town. It's a small team compared to some of the, we're going to get to, bigger profile MAC teams.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of MAC, Lance Leipold, we talked about him in the prior video. Buffalo, 9-3 against the spread as an underdog. They seem to consistently cover against Power 5 teams in non-conference games.
Hell of a number straight up.
And
no, never mind.
Well, straight up 4-8.
They're fine.
Not bad.
I got ahead of myself.
5-1 against the spread in 2017, 2-1 in 2018, 2-1 in 2019. Look, Lance Leipold, when he came in, Wisconsin Whitewater, nobody really knew much about him other than, he won a bunch of national championships in the lower division. What's he going to be able to do in the MAC? Hey, well, he's shown it. Yeah. He's shown it. So we'll move on from there. Number 3 is your boy.
This is it.
Jeff Brom, Purdue, 15-4 straight up. 15-4 against the spread the last 3 years. That's 79%. 8-11 straight up. That is ridiculously good.
As an underdog, to have 8 wins and 11 losses, pretty strong. Yeah. They're still consistently an underdog a lot.
Well, it actually got worse. So 2017, when he first came in, went 5-2 as an underdog against the number. 3-1 the next year. We're only an underdog 4 times in 2018. And then it goes back to 2019.
Injuries is the reason they were the underdog in 2019. It's the reason the number was so big. They were able to cover them pretty consistently. Brom's a hell of a coach. You can't give him that big of a head start. You just can't.
You've got that right. You have got that right. 7-1 last year. Obviously, they were incredibly undervalued with all those injuries and everything else. But yes. Brom's a coach. Brom's a good coach. Number 2, this is your guy.
It's my guy.
Ed Orgeron. Coach O, LSU. They are not an underdog often. Now, my limitation here was you had to be an underdog at least 7 times.
Thankfully, the first season, he got that in the books.
Oh, he most certainly did. No, it was 2018 that they were underdogs the most. 2017, they were 2-0 as an underdog.
Oh, that's right. I keep looking at the wrong column. I've got dyslexia. You guys are going to learn that if you stay with us long enough.
There you go.
I'm going to mess up grids a lot.
Hey, make sure you stay with us, by the way. Hit the like button. Share the show out. Make sure you're subscribed. Keep on coming back for more. We got plenty for you. 4-1 against the spread as an underdog in 2018.
Yep.
That was the year everybody thought that they were going to go 6-6.
That's right.
You know, they had lost so much talent and whatnot. And Joe Burrow's coming in, but
nobody knew who he was.
Yeah, he wasn't good enough to snuff it at Ohio State and blah, 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 blah.
That's right.
And they go 9-3, and they beat a bunch of top 10 teams, and they win a bunch on the road, and, you know, that's the way it goes. Now, they were only an underdog 1 time in 2019, and they whipped Alabama's rear end in Tuscaloosa, I hate to say, but they most certainly did that. So,
yes, I don't have a lot to add to that outside of the fact that was just the most magical year I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to see from this side. I will say that. All right, number 1 on the list.
The rattlesnake.
This is a ridiculous number. This is absolutely unbelievable.
This is why this guy is the most fun person to gamble on in college football, in my opinion.
Oh, yes.
Like him, love him, hate him, doesn't matter. He's a lot of fun to have money riding on.
Over the last 3 seasons.
And I'll take him in a fist fight, too.
Oh, yeah. The
watch yourself, Herman.
Arkansas waterfall.
That's right.
Coming out the back of the hat.
That's right.
Mike
the mullet,
Gundy.
Rattlesnake.
And in Oklahoma State, 9-1 against the spread as an underdog the last 3 seasons. Now, what makes this even more ridiculous? 1, he was 6-4 straight up.
Yep.
So, out of 10 games as an underdog, they won 6 of them. That's absurd. On top of that, 2017, they were not an underdog 1 time.
Yeah, that team was. What's weird is that, so that skews the numbers a little bit here. That team was projected to be so good. That season.
And they were good. They were good.
But they were disappointing.
They were
disappointing. 5-0 2018 against the spread. 2019 4-1 last year. Oklahoma they only lost.
It was ridiculous.
Special. This guy is a firecracker. He is a wild card. You never know what he's going to do.
A lot of fun to put money on.
I love bet. Like him, hate him, doesn't matter. You just want some action on a Saturday evening. Find Oklahoma State on the docket and slide something on them. It's a good way to spend a Saturday.
Now, we'll go ahead and toss out a few honorable mentions here. We got 3 different sections.
I'll let you roll through these.
Coaches at new schools or that are out of football. Jeff Tedford, Fresno State. He is now retired, but as an underdog, 11-2-1 against the spread the last 3 seasons. Yeah, he's 84.6%, number 1 on this list. Number 3 on this list. And he's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. But he has
6
retired.
6 and 8 straight up.
6 and 8 straight up is really good. And he was 8-0 as an underdog in 2017-2018, went 3-2-1 last year. So Steve Adazio, Boston College, he is now the new head coach at Colorado State. 13-6-1 against the spread as an underdog. That's 68.4%. 8-12 straight up. 8 times.
I like Adazio. I just don't understand why Boston College got rid of him. I like this guy a lot.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
He's not great. No, he is a lot of fun.
Oh, but is anybody really going to be great
at BC? No,
BC?
It's a tough job.
There you go. All right, we also have teams with 2 different head coaches over that span. Over the last 3 years, App State 6-1 against the spread as an underdog. That's 85.7%. That is absurd. 4-3 straight up as an underdog. And that's between Scott Satterfield and Eli Drinkwitz, neither of which are there anymore. Sean Clark, the offensive line coach for both coaches, is the new guy. We'll see if they can keep that going. Northern Illinois, Rod Carey, now at Temple, and Thomas Hammock, who was a former running backs coach, I want to say, for somewhere in the NFL. I'm not gonna lie.
That's outside of my expertise.
He came back to his alma mater, Northern Illinois. They went 12-6 as an underdog over the last 3 seasons. That's 66.7%. That is insanely profitable. 7-11 straight up. Look, under Rod Carey, did pretty good. 3-2 in 2017, 4-3 in 2018, 5-1 last year.
Yes, sir.
Like, once people realized they were bad, they really started going against them.
Yep.
Not a smart idea.
That's right.
Not a smart idea. And finally, the last section here, teams with third-year head coaches going into their 3rd year. Dan Mullen, obviously we're fans of his. Florida, 5-2 against the spread as an underdog over the last 3 seasons. They just hit that 7-game mark. Just hit it. I couldn't believe they'd been underdogs 7 times.
Yeah, I was shocked about that too. But
so
that
LSU
team that he took over in 2018, he had 4 underdogs games that year.
Yeah,
that was bad. They had no talent.
Yeah, no, they went 4-8 or 4-7 or whatever under Jim McElwain's last season. Yep. Finally, Herm Edwards, Arizona State.
This is the most doubted guy in football. I completely disrespected him, even though I loved him.
Yeah, on our podcast, we did not think it would work.
I thought this was a joke, and man, I could not have been more wrong.
9-4-1 against the spread. That is 69.2%. 7-7 straight up in 14 games.
2 years back to back, 2 old guys have come back to the league that I have completely besmirched the good name of. Him and Mac Brown, and both of them made me look stupid and cost me a lot of money.
You have got that right.
I got to quit betting against the old guys.
You have got that right. All right, that is going to wrap this up. This was the top 10, which it was actually more than 10. But either way, we'll say it. The top 10 coaches against the spread as an underdog over the last 3 seasons in college football. If you want to see more sports content, visit sbrpicks.com or click the links in the description to stay on top of all the content SBR has for you. For sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the show.